was not excited. You observe that, right? When I went almost in a monotone and I didn't use any expressions, I didn't wave at you, I didn't do anything. What does it showcase? Isn't that showcasing the importance of our body language, our facial expressions? Thumbs up. This is, by the way, a prompting gesture. I'm using a prompting gesture. We'll get to it.
रोज गाड़ी चला के हुआ
टैन हो गया टैन
मेरा जो अभी तक
Thank you Zoom moderator. Now, as you can see, body language plays a huge part in communication. Action speaks louder than words, and communication happens two ways. One is verbal, the other one is non-verbal, and we tend to focus more on non-verbal. Like I just demonstrated to you. Had I waved to you, you feel that. If I don't wave, if my words don't have congruence with my actions, it feels like I'm not genuine. And you tend to believe the contrary. You believe the non-verbal signs. So that's how important body language is. Now, a great speech, let me tell you, is like a beautiful marriage. And great marriages in a speech happen when actions are wedded to words. So you have to make sure your gestures, your body language matches those words to get the best out of communication. Now, let me go to the next one. Now, in body language, instead of learning about how you can add more gestures, how to use eye contact, how to move about your stage, what is more important is eliminating the wrong ones. Let me tell you, removing, as you can see, I've made removing in a larger font because removing is more important than adding. Let me tell you a story. In my Toastmasters club, there was a Toastmaster who maybe he was in his third speech, and I have his permission, so I'm going to tell his story. He was giving a speech and he wanted to sound confident, but then he was pacing. He wasn't making contact. He was moving around because he wanted to use the stage. He thought moving around would really count points for the stage movement. And then sometimes he would, to make a strong point, he would touch the table in front of him. And sometimes the table rattled and people got distracted. Now that was very distracting for us. As much as he wanted us to emphasize and listen to a particular point, we got totally distracted. Instead of looking at what he was speaking, we were looking at how he looks sideways, what is he doing, which way is he going. So we were getting distracted. So it's very important in a body language part to understand where we are going wrong, to be self-aware. Me, for example, in a contest, I came to notice that when I'm nervous, I blink a little too much. And I saw that I was blinking, I think 10 times in a minute, and it didn't sound nice. It didn't look nice. So it's important for us to record, look at ourselves, ask somebody as to what are those mannerisms which are getting in our way. Maybe you tend to touch your hair. All of this is happening unconsciously. So it helps to be aware. Some people might bite their lips. Some people might hold their hands in their pockets. So all of these can be distracting for the audience. And these mannerisms need to be taken care of. And then when you become conscious, these things can be eliminated, just like our counts. Now, some of the elements of body language which we all get, which gets covered in our pathways is, the posture, the walk, the outfit. In the virtual environment, lighting and camera plays a role in body language. I'll tell you why. Facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, body movement. So let's cover them one by one, shall we? Now, coming to posture, walk, and outfit. Generally, people start judging you the moment you come in a room. They look at how you walk. They judge you how they even try to judge your background, how confident you are, what's your educational background, what not. Because, in a world filled with stimulated overdose of
Thank you.
stimulus.
Well, thank
We
you.
need to
I
make
have
sense of the
an
world.
appointment that I need to get on now.
And
So maybe we can
Zoom Master, could
schedule
I
another
request
time to catch
Akos to
up.
be muted?
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much. It was good speaking with you.
Sorry, Deepa. We are checking on this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Amita, put me co-host. I will look into it, please.
Yeah. Okay. I've
Okay, thank
muted
you.
some. Okay. Deepa, you can carry on. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. So posture is very important mainly because a good posture, my grandmother, all our grandmothers, perhaps our parents keep telling, have a good posture, good for your back. After a lot of years, my grandmother had perfect posture till she lived on earth. So, what it helps us, it makes us calmer. It helps us breathe effectively. When we breathe well, we project our voices better. So that's the importance of a good posture. So stand straight, chest out, stomach in. Don't stiffen your muscle. Just take a deep breath, relax, have a sip of water, loosen your muscles so that your hand movements, your body movements come in smooth and they're not very sudden and they're not very jerky. They don't show your nervousness. That's about posture. And the walk that you give, you see cats walk. Have you seen cats walk? How beautifully they walk. The only thing I like about a cat is their walks. They say cat walk because the models walk and they show attitude. So we tend to find out the attitudes just by the way they walk. So when you're walking on stage, just bring out that confident person, project confidence, walk calmly with loosened muscles. It helps build a good image for yourself as a speaker. In fact, in the 18th century, and if I'm not wrong, even now there are finishing schools where they teach people how to walk, because they give subtle cues about what you are. And so people want to know how to glide and walk sometimes gracefully, and it projects confidence. So practice your walks, especially in a physical meeting. Here in a virtual meeting, you don't see much of my walk, but really helpful in that real physical meeting when you're in front of people. And next comes the outfit. When you are in the center stage, I'd recommend you to be one of the best dressed in the room, because you want their attention. Let it be on yourself by being well dressed. But that's an option. Some people can pull out without doing much on that, and do well in the other areas. So I would like you to consider that as one of the ingredients of a good speaker. And people tend to look at that, and people tend to get attracted. People maintain focus, and they are curious. Oh, this is very interesting. The brain is processing now. That looks like an interesting person. I got to listen to that person, just by the attire, just by the way you carry yourself, just by the walk and the posture. And now in the virtual environment, lighting and camera is very crucial. Now I'm using, unfortunately, I don't have a wide angle camera. So you see limited parts of me. But if I use my wide angle camera of my laptop, it looks rather very blurry. Let me check if I can help. Uh-oh. I guess I'll have to close my Prezi and come back. Okay, could you bear with me? I'll just close my Prezi and come back, because it's not allowing.
No worries. No worries, Deepa.
I tried to show my laptop camera because it isn't very good. It's not full HD camera and it's very grainy. So I thought, let me compromise on the wide angle part rather than the clarity.
Or they can see mine if they want.
Yes,
Look, this is the webcam, and this will be without webcam. Let me check.
Okay, sorry about the technical glitch. I'll be right back. Uh-oh.
The time Deepa joins, just to inform you all, as I put in the chat box, we'll have a question and answer session. So if you have questions, you can already start posting it in the chat box, or we will have an open session as well to pose your questions directly to her.
I'm so sorry. I just had to log out and come back.
We understand it happens.
Okay, then let's go back to our camera and lighting. Now it's advisable, even with the laptop camera that we have, if you have good lighting, it actually looks good. I mean, one light here, one light here. If you have those ring lights, works wonderfully well. If you don't, you'd like to consider lighting from your room, projecting at different angles of your face. You know, when you put light on something, you tend to look at the light, right? Wherever the light is, it's like we spotlight. If I put light on my hand, you look at my hand, you will not look at my face. So that's the importance of lighting. Put that light on the upper torso, especially the face, because that's the most concentrated area. And then try to vary the color of your lighting. One color in one light, another color in another light. In that case, it brings a three-dimensional view to an otherwise two-dimensional face. So it'll give you an illusion of a three-dimensional face. So that's how you can effectively use your camera setup and lighting in a virtual environment, because we need people to look at our body language if we have to do better in the virtual environment. And without lighting and without a good camera, people would rather concentrate on our words and our tone rather than our body language. If it's all blurry, they wouldn't be able to look at our faces. So it's very important to keep track of that. Now let's look at facial expression. Now, in the start of the meeting, did I let out a smile? I think Toastmaster Amita let out a smile, and also Toastmaster Nina let out a smile. Did you know what happened by that? We all warmed up. We felt pleasant. They were not sulking, looking at us. It felt like we were welcomed. So never negate the power of a smile. You know, smile confidently, calm. And when you smile, you'll always get returned a smile back. No matter how crooked your teeth is or how your hair is or whatever, if you smile, you get back smiles. So use that power of smile to your advantage on stage. Now, facial expression has other things that we can convey. Now I have a couple of sentences on my screen. Now I want a few volunteers, please raise your hand. I'd like you to showcase your face sorrowfully. You know, I've written the emotion in yellow. So you got to show that facial expression. How would you show it? So first sentence, who'd like to try it? Sorrow. Susan, yes, Susan. Susan, can you read out the sentence? I didn't. You're muted.
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute. My dog died yesterday.
Yes. Could you feel that? On the contrary, if I went on a monotone and if I didn't have any facial expression, Susan, can you do it in a monotone without any facial expression?
Black friends to be famous. She lets see.
My dog died yesterday.
So you see, with facial expression, without facial expression, if it adds value, if it emphasizes a certain point, it's worth keeping in our speeches. That's the importance of facial expression. Now let's go ahead and do the next sentence. Now I want a similar sentence, but now somebody is angry. Who'd like to go for that? Master Kavita, would you like to go for the next one? Show us your angry face and read out the sentence.
I have to say,
Yes, the second sentence
okay,
with
my
the facial
dog died
expression of anger.
yesterday and you want me to come to the party today? Woo!
Great. You see, we saw surprise and anger together. So that's what is conveyed by your facial expression. Mind you, we have a little bit of vocal variation to intonation also in place, but also our faces express along with our tonalities. Now, who would like to try some more? I have some more excitement. Neelu, Toastmaster Neelu, can you show your excited face and read out the next sentence?
Yeah. Can you give me the sentence, please?
Can you see the screen? I was so excited.
Now I can see. I was so excited that I could not sleep.
Yeah. Can you express it a little more with your eyes?
I was so excited that I could not sleep.
Yeah. The first time you came right on, you were bang on with the vocal variety, which is intonation. Now you got the facial expression also right. Who'd like to go for the next one? I want someone to be empathetic and compassionate. Ramya, would you like to go for it?
I want you to do well.
Very nice. A softer tone. I want you to do well. You can actually do this. I want you to do well. Soften, lower pitch. Great work, Ramya. So that's one way to do that. We all have different ways of showcasing our body language, by the way. So keep to your natural selves. I'll come to that later. Now, who is a little happy today? Happy face next. Toastmaster Raj, do you like to go for the next sentence? Show your happy face. You're muted.
I'm so happy today.
Great, fantastic. Another one, Gianna, would you like to go for it? I already see a very smiley face. Can you unmute yourself, Gianna?
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. I am so happy today.
Could you come again?
I am so happy today.
Please give it a big round of applause. See, you showcase how happy you are. How about if I said, I am very happy today? Which would you like to believe? Do you like to believe I'm not happy, or would you like to believe I'm happy? You'd rather believe I'm not happy, right? So that's the power of your body language and facial expressions. Now, one last one for facial expression, Seema. For the funny one, let me maximize the screen for you. You have to come on video, by the way, Seema. It's facial expression. Could you unmute yourself? You're still muted?
Oh my God. I just tried it out. Okay, I'll do it again. Hello?
Yes.
Where's the screen? Yeah. It was so funny. My stomach hurt laughing.
Wow. Brilliant. Please give her a big round of applause. All of you, great job for trying out. It's not very easy. Some people don't like to use, their facial expressions very much. So kudos to you all for trying it out and coming out of your comfort zone. Some of you at least must have come out of your comfort zone. Now let's go to gestures. In pathways, this is really covered, I picked it up from pathways. Gestures are 4 types. Hand gestures, descriptive, emphatic, suggestive, and prompting. So what is descriptive? Descriptive, as the word tells, is you're describing with your hands. Now I'm going to try one of them here. I lost my way, went around cycling and couldn't find your house. Okay. I lost my way. I went around circling and I still couldn't find your house. This Circling would be my descriptive gesture that I'm putting. Now, I'm not going to give you exactly what gesture you have to try out, but I'll again maximize my screen. I'll call for some volunteers. Please come on video if you'd like to try it out. So first on, Toastmaster Afaq, would you like to try out the next descriptive?
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, let me maximize my screen. The second sentence for you. How would you describe, how do you use a descriptive gesture for the second sentence?
I never imagined that the entire world would come to a standstill.
Because of what?
Yeah, because of a tiny virus. Yeah, I did not see that.
Yeah.
Because of a tiny virus.
Very nice. Very nice. Toastmaster Afaq used a lot of gestures, may I say. It was effective to some extent, but thing here is, if you could use maybe 2 gestures maximum, I kind of felt Toastmaster Afaq, you used several at the same place. Like, I never could imagine the entire world would come to a standstill because of tiny virus. A lot of gestures. You could maybe figure out which are the 2 things that I'd like to emphasize and just choose that. Maybe I'll go for tiny virus and entire world. So let me try. I never could imagine that the entire world would come to a standstill because of a tiny virus. You see, my facial expression could turn and then tiny virus. And I might also look at the tiny part. Instead of looking at the audience, I look at the tiny part. So this is how you can use descriptive gestures. Less is more, by the way. Try to minimize the gestures instead of acting out every word. So that's my...
Does it confuse the listener? Does it confuse the listener?
Yes, it does. Because if you're acting out every word, it does. So try to find out which is a key idea you want to emphasize in this whole thing. Is it the tiny virus, or which is that one thing that you want to emphasize? Too many would become almost like you're acting out your speech, which we don't want to do. So that's one suggestion for you. And I hope it was of some use to the others. So another sentence, the sentence number 3, who'd like to go for that? Natalie, would you like to go for it?
She stays in a huge apartment.
Fantastic. Intonation perfect. Huge is the one she used for describing. There are so many others you can be creative with. How you're going to describe. You can be creative with it. You can, you can start counting the number of items in something. You can describe a scene. How you do that is left to you. Individual gestures vary, and find out which is that one thing, key thing that you want to describe with your hand gestures and bring it out alive. Now let's go to emphatic. Emphatic gestures, the name again suggests you're emphasizing it. The first one was descriptive, this is emphasis. Emphasis, for example, the first one, let me tell you, I'm truly honored is the first sentence. So I'm going to go with, I am truly honored. This is my emphatic gesture. I'm putting my hand on my heart and I'm trying to mean what I say, and I'm really honored. That would be one emphatic gesture. Now this, you can, I'll make someone try the second one. Please be creative because everyone's gestures are different. Let's see how we go. So Martin, would you like to go for the next one? Next second sentence.
We need to work hard. We can definitely win.
Okay, is that win the only gesture you have, Martin? Is that the emphatic gesture?
Win. To win.
Okay, cool. You see, that is Martin's gesture. Now let's make Farheen try the same one. Farheen, would you like to go for the same sentence?
Okay. We need to work hard. We can definitely win.
Great. You see, different gestures by different people. We're unique, as we said. So both of them works. We need to win works good. Farheen's gestures work good. We're trying to emphasize certain things. And these can be done deliberately in our speeches and purposefully. The next thing is the suggestive gesture. What is a suggestive gesture? Suggestive gestures is when you have an open, you are showing your mood during suggestive gestures. If you're confused, you show a shrug, and sometimes let me show you, you can do it. Now, this is the most hated gesture. You can do it. People don't like getting pointed fingers at. This is a gesture, works well, some of you might think. But how about this? You can do it. Which looks better? So when there's a you word, try to bring this gesture. It's suggesting something. And then comes the next one, where I'd like you to, maybe someone in the room, what you feel about the second sentence, just showcase with your gesture, you know. Sarojini can't try this, so let's give this to who's available on camera. Nina.
From where the hell did Sarojini bring Deepa?
Fantastic, fantastic. See, it could be a surprise. If people are surprised, they can actually, from where the hell did Sarojini bring Deepa? So that could be shrug and a hand gesture. And so that is suggestive gestures for you. And then the very, we all do it unconsciously, which is the prompting gesture. Like the Tia Modi does it often. Please give them a big round of applause. And they start clapping. And they give a cue to us. You got to start clapping as well. You do it, you make the others do it. They mirror you. And again, take the next one. Who's going to try this out? I really like keeping this interactive. I don't know how many of you are enjoying this, but please come on video, please. I'd like more of you to try out. So the second one is the second sentence. I'd like Toastmaster Kushi to go for it. What gestures would you come up with for the next one? Let me maximize the screen for you. Prompting gesture. Is that a picture? Oh God, I thought she was on video. Anyway, who'd like to go for it? Seema, would you like to go for it?
Okay, I can. Yeah. The first sentence?
Second
one. Okay. Take a deep breath and hold. Release.
Okay. Good try. Susan, would you like to go for the same thing? I mean, show us how it's done. Like you're telling the others to do it along with you.
Take a deep breath and hold. Release.
Fantastic. It's a little difficult, but you can actually take a deep breath. Maybe the breath sound, if your microphone is effective, you can hear the breath sound and then hold, release. So this is prompting gesture, and you almost tell them, hey, you got to do this with me by doing it yourself. The third one, who'd like to go for third one? Gianna, would you like to go for the third one? Simple,
Yes,
very simple.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Who would like to try this gesture? Raise your hand, please.
Okay, the first one. Okay, cool. That was good. Raise your hands, please. Everybody raise hands, Diana, as you could see. And may I ask Toastmaster Raj to try the third sentence. Prompting gesture. Toastmaster Raj, could you unmute yourself? Okay, I'll come back to you. Let me go to Martin.
Third one, please give a huge round of applause.
Fantastic. Tempting after I see the sound of the applause as well to start clapping myself. So that is prompting gesture. Now let's go to, as you said, as I wanted to tell you, I already told this earlier, less is more. So do not try to express every single word through gestures. Try to find out that one thing that you want to highlight and use gestures for that. Less is more in gestures. Now, eye contact. Now, eye contact in the virtual world is pretty straightforward. You look at a camera where the light is blinking and it feels like I'm looking at you. My piercing eyes are on you, people. Can you see it? That it brings about a personal connection. But if I looked elsewhere on the screen, there's a loss of connection. So that's eye contact in the virtual environment. In a physical environment, I don't know how many clubs are already meeting. Many of our clubs are meeting offline. So in a group of people, the one technique that worked for me is look at the first interested face in the group. Somebody out there will be looking at you. So look at their eyes. And when you look at the eyes for 1 to 2 seconds, you feel like shifting the gaze. You don't want to stare at them. So you're going to shift the eyes to the next interesting eye. Go to the next eye. And then 2 seconds later, you go to the next interesting eye and then move around the room with your eyes. And then it'll come naturally. And the more they are interested in your speech, the more you really want some message to be delivered, the more you've practiced your speech, it comes out very efficiently. So for good eye contact, I would also say, because you need to be a little confident about the content, it comes out more naturally. So internalize your speech, know the structure, know the key ideas you're going to cover. That way it's going to come more naturally. Otherwise, instead of looking at the eyes, you'll be looking somewhere else to recollect those things that you had written in your script. So rehearse, practice your speech. The more comfortable you are with your speech, the better you come across with eye contact. And now comes body movements. Now we need smooth, relaxed. We don't want jerky, sudden movements. We want graceful, smooth, relaxed movements. And there are some movements that actually help us emphasize some points, which is stepping forward, stepping backward, stepping sideways. Let me showcase what it does. Usually in a speech, when you have an important point you want to speak about, you take a couple of steps and then you give out that important message. In a virtual environment, you might as well whisper that message. This is what I wanted you to learn today. Do not judge a book by its cover. So this is how you use 2 steps front to deliver an important message. And then when you're moving back again, you're letting them process information. The audience are processing some information that you already gave. So backward steps for when you want people to absorb what you already gave them. And then lateral movement is when you're making a transition. You see, in a speech, we have these paras, right? We cover one idea in one para, the next idea in another. We have we have a structure to our speeches. When you move from one idea to the next, maybe in your icebreaker speech, you were talking about your childhood. Stand here. And when you want to talk about your college life, go to the next place and talk about it. Then again, go to another place when you're talking about your current life. So that's how you can move laterally, body movements. And be yourself, people. Just be yourself with respect to body movements, gestures, because everybody has their own individual style. What we need to do is amplify that conversation that we're having. So record yourself as to what gestures are coming across, remove the unwelcome parts, and try to focus on how better I can bring out those gestures. But be authentic, be yourself, because they convey. If you try to copy another person, a great speaker who's using a certain gesture and it doesn't come really with you, it shows off as phony, it doesn't come across as genuine. So maintain your own gestures and emphasize your own gestures, work on it, instead of just reading about it from somewhere and just adding it. If you want to do that, you better do it a couple of times before, so that it becomes second behavior to you. So you can take out some other gestures, but you got to make it your own. Until you make it your own, it doesn't come across authentic. So that's my last message. Be yourself and record and watch yourself as often as you can. That's the only way to know where you are doing with your body language, where you do what you're doing with your gestures, which are those distracting movements that you have. Always helps to have somebody report something that you don't know of. And most often, if you record yourself, I think you identify it more than anybody else pointing it out to you. This is Masterclass in Body Language. And I'm open to questions now. If anybody has any, I'd be more than happy to take them. Yes, Toastmaster Pak.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. It was a very, I joined late. It was a very good because I'm very much interested in the body language and I have been learning a lot about that. My question to you is, many a times what I have seen is, unless I'm very confident in a situations, the body language is very much expressive and very correct. Most of the time when I'm not in a confident mood, maybe in a business situation where I'm delaying things or where I'm going late, there I see my posture and all suffer. My posture or even expression. Sometimes I stutter with the language as well. Although I speak a very good language, then the incorrect sentences do come in. So how is it that I can work on from the inside to outside whenever the situations are very challenging?
Some of the things work on the reverse. For example, the moment you walk, sometimes you're not confident, happens sometimes, especially at a contest. Sometimes I'm very nervous, but I tend to project confidence. So what you can do is maybe fake it till you make it. Sometimes it works. You just walk with a certain stance, walk confidently, even though you might not be feeling, and then you start feeling that eventually. And then once you start getting reactions, positive reactions from the audience, you begin to concentrate on them rather than your own anxieties. And if you have that one key message that in your speech, if you are interested in them, you will be interesting to them. If you are interested in them, you will be interesting to them. So have a message that's close to your heart, that you really want to share with people. If you are interested in your message, it's a good thing to practice, rehearse. So if you're comfortable with that speech, with that message, the confidence will itself come, and you will enjoy putting the focus on the audience rather than putting focus on your own anxieties. So it'll happen if you practice this. Just have that key message, be yourself, and try to fake it till you make it sometimes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Shubhranjali. You're muted, Shubhranjali.
Sorry, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
So often it happens like while I practice, I'm more relaxed compared to when I have to deliver my speech. Like whenever I receive feedbacks, they are related to that your neck was stiff and or your body was stiff. So how to feel more relaxed?
For me, what really works is I take a glass of water to get rid of my anxiety. That heart rate slows down for me. My shallow breaths become more relaxed. And I try to deep breathe. It relaxes my muscles. That's how much you can do to relax yourself. And do try to be very comfortable with your content. When you do that, I think your focus will automatically shift to what you want to tell the audience. And you will stop looking at yourself. Like I already told Toastmaster Pak, the focus should be on the audience. The focus should be on how am I going to make them hear what I have to say. This is something really important I have to tell them. If you focus on that, automatically that anxiety that you're worried, okay, how am I looking? Am I moving properly? All that goes away. And the gestures part should come unconsciously. So this should happen in your rehearsal stage, is what I feel. If you concentrate on your very deliberately during the speech on those hand gestures, okay, I'm going to lift my hand here, I'm going to walk sideways. If you think that, again, you'll bring the focus on yourself. So have the focus on the audience. internalize your speech, practice body language as part of your speech. And when you do more speeches, Toastmaster Shubhranjali, body language will become part of you. You don't have to anymore prepare for it. It'll become it'll come to you naturally. So give more prepared speeches and keep the content very dear to you, and I think it will help you. Yes, Toastmaster Susan.
I put this in the chat too, but how do you integrate your speaking with your PowerPoint? I love that approach. It's very helpful.
The one that I'm using?
Where you have the PowerPoint showing up within where you
Yes.
are.
This one?
Yes.
This is a software called Prezi.
Oh, okay.
Video.
I'll look
so you
for
can go
that.
to prezi.com and there's a subscription for it. I think it's $5 a month. They take a charge for the whole year. So you get to these are nothing but PowerPoint slides. I just upload it on Prezi and I changed my camera to Prezi video. So that's why I had the technical glitch, because I tried to change the camera, which was my Prezi video, and then I tried to switch back.
It looks wonderful. I love that method.
Thank you. Yes, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, question from you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepa, for such an amazing session. I have just this one question. Whenever I'm trying to give a speech, and if there is a character or role play involved, so should I be moving 2 steps on the sideways, or just should I change the side only? Like if I'm playing my imaginary wife, so in that case, so what would be the better approach?
It depends upon your comfort zone. Some people are very dramatic, theatrical. They like to actually act out that part. They'll pretend to be the wife, they'll pretend to be the husband. So the husband stands here. When the wife speaks, the wife takes the other part. They even change their voices, pitches. And if it's a child and parent, they actually look down on the child looks up. So all of that can be done as part of body language if you're comfortable. If this is not something that you enjoy doing, you can just make subtle movements, like just stand in the same position or just look somewhere else, pretending you're speaking to the wife, and the wife then speaks to you back like this. So that could be the subtle way of doing it. So it depends upon how theatrical or dramatic you'd like to be. I hope that answers your question. Yes, Toastmaster Amita.
Yes, Deepa, thank you so much for the wonderful session that you're conducting and making us, talk as well and pose questions to you. My question is this: when you're giving a speech and you're dramatizing it, what's a thin line between it? More is less. But sometimes in Toastmasters, when you listen to a speech, you feel drama has taken a lot of part of it. So there's a lot of over actions going on. How do you minimize that to fit your speech? Or should we not dramatize much? Is that better?
So in Toastmasters, yes, there is a lot of theatrics involved, which I don't particularly enjoy. So I'd always ask you, what is your comfort zone? Do you like it? Adopt it. If you don't like it, don't adopt it, because Toastmasters is suggesting us. So maybe it's our personal space where we're feeling that way and the others are not. So some people are naturally dramatic, so they'll enjoy doing that. They can bring fun to the stage. So for them, yes, go ahead. But if you're somebody who's subtle, who'd like to go in the less is more way, I think you go for that. So it's ultimately individual choice, I feel personally. I think both can convey the same message with an equally good impact. It's about how you see your personality as. And often going out of the way, out of your skin almost, will come across as phony. So if it comes naturally to you, just adopt it. But if it really appears like it's somebody else and it's not you who's giving the speech, I think avoid it. Toastmaster Farheen, would you like to come up with your question?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. My question is that you talked about the lights and all, but I'm not into these technical things, but do you need a professional to set up all these things?
Yes, these days there are these ring lights which come in handy, one on one side, the other on the other. Some people, if they have good lighting in their rooms, works fine. But if you can invest on ring lights, especially if you're really serious about this virtual setup, invest in these ring lights, and which have these yellow lights as well as white light, and then you can change the intensity. One on one side, the other on the other side, projecting light on your face with different intensity of light and color of light. So we are in a two-dimensional space right now. So when you add different kind of light, it gives a three-dimensional view to your face. That's about lighting I'd like to recommend.
And one more thing, Toastmaster Martin, I think, showed the difference between you use a webcam and the camera on your laptop. But does it make much difference if we use another webcam?
Yes, it does. Some MacBooks really look good in itself, but my laptop camera comes across very grainy with the room lighting that I have. I have a Asus laptop, and even though it's a gaming laptop, it doesn't have that full HD camera. So you can go for the webcams which have full HD, which is, they say 60 hertz is a good technical term to go for, but you can go for 30 hertz as well. And I'm eyeing a Lenovo full HD web camera, if I may recommend that. So that's in my shopping list right now. So it has a wide angle view. Now this is not wide angle, so it's limiting my movement. The other camera will help me more in my movement. It'll project a larger space. My hands won't be so restricted. I can actually expand my hands. So go for something with wide angled camera lens and full HD.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. That's it then. This is my masterclass in body language.
Hi Deepa, this is Shravanti.
Hi Shravanti.
I'm not able to come on camera. I'm on vacation, but I couldn't resist at least attending a few sessions. Thank you for the wonderful session. And I loved how you stayed authentic and also incorporated some of the actual exercises that you were trying to share with us. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Delight to have you here. So this is about how different things about body language. There's so many other creative ways. I covered the basics. I hope you all put into practice what we just discussed in your future speeches and do more often, more speeches. And this body language, which you're doing deliberately, will become internalized, and you don't even have to practice. Okay, now I'm going to do this, or you don't have to do it. It'll come naturally. So give more prepared speeches and incorporate them during your rehearsals, and you'll have a good head start in body language, gestures, facial expressions. So back to the Toastmaster of the day at ACE Speakers.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. Thank you so much. Did you all have fun?
Yes.
Yes, you all had fun. Look, we're going to make some natural body postures. It's not really taken from anywhere. It's my habit to come up and, do some action, because in Zoom, you need to excite the people who are behind the screen. We do that very often. Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. One of the things that I usually do when I start a speech, especially in a physical setting, is I go in front of the audience. Without saying anything, I screen first, so that there might be maybe a 20 or 30 minutes silence before I start, drawing the attention of everybody in the audience towards me. So this is one of the body gestures that I use, and it reminded me much more when I was listening to you as well. But what I would do in my next speech, Deepa, is this. When I have the script in front of me, I would highlight the portions where I have to consciously integrate what you have told us today. We do actions naturally as it comes, but the realization of when to have that emphasis on, when to show that kind of, soothness in your talk, I would take different color highlights and highlight it and try to incorporate my speech consciously. Thank you for that. Now, I think the time has gone very well. And in the end, I would request a vote of thanks to be offered by our very own DTM Gianna. DTM Gianna, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Madam President. Dear Toastmasters and friends, let us give a thunderous round of applause for our honored guest speaker, Toastmaster Deepa Sampath Kumar from Bangalore. Let us stand up, please, and show that we can really have a thunderous round of applause as she taught us. Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. Thank you. You are really great. You are for us a sample and an example of a great presenter, speaker of high caliber, who has analyzed, scrutinized every element of a good speech. Name it: facial expression, posture, verbal and non-verbal expression, camera, lighting, confidence, even dressing. I'll remember that in my next speech. You even made us practice in this naturally interactive session as if you have done this your whole life. You unveiled all the nooks and corners of our inner powers, which we all have yet not fully exploited. It is the masterclass of a humble genius who our society really needs nowadays. Unknowingly, you're an excellent therapist, vocal therapist, and a great healer. Kudos to you and many thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
Thank you, DTM Gianna. And with that, the session is just about to end, or somebody else wants to come up and offer their appreciation for Deepa. The floor is open before we close in about 3 minutes.
Thank you, Deepa. Always lovely to hear your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa. Hello.
Yes.
Thank
yes,
you, Deepa.
Deepa.
You explained the body language with such simple sentences, so that we could try out. And each and every gesture was, we felt that we could, we use it normally. So it was wonderful. And I loved it. Less is more, you don't have to have gestures for each and everything, So that was really important because we try to incorporate that on everything which we would like to do it. But I like the thing that less is more. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Seema, for participating and volunteering.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was lovely to see you express things.
Thank you.
I have a feedback form, Google form. If you'd like to, if you're free, you could fill this up offline for me so that I can improve on my presentations, whatever you liked. It's an anonymous form. If you'd like to add your name and email, it's your choice, but you can just suggest me how I can improve on presenting and what reached you better today. I put it in the chat.
Yeah, we have taken note of the form, and I think most of us would love to fill it up. Thank you. Actually, Deepa, just to share with you, the timer Toastmaster Farheen here, she's actually going to represent the division in International Speech Contest. And today's session will immensely benefit her because we are preparing her. She's going to represent Mauritius. And Mauritius is first time districted and is going to be represented in the district. So your session is going to immensely help us.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it's adding value to people around here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And Farheen, make us proud.
Yes, I will do my best.
Hello, Mauritius. I would like to say thank you to Deepa. I joined a bit late because I'm from Malaysia and it's already 1 a.m. now. I saw it in the WhatsApp group and I joined, and I liked what I heard, even though it was halfway. Thank you so much, Deepa, and thank you, Mauritius, for having me here. See you guys. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sabaria.
Deepa, what group are you? This is a group of your the table topic group?
Yes, one is table topic group and 2 global Toastmasters groups.
Oh, great, great. That's good. That's good. So with that, I think our meeting ends. And thank you everybody for your presence. Good night. Good morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amrita. I did say that for Diversity for Success, you're welcome to attend any time, just as I did this session. We will be posting, Susan is actually part of our club as well, Susan Russell. So we'll be posting on Facebook and LinkedIn every time we have meetings for the latest link to register.
Lovely, Shravanti. We would love to have you over as well. I'll get in touch with you through Deepa, and why not we have joint meetings as well?
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, it's in the middle of the night here, so I'm not able to come on video, but this was great. Thank you for putting this together.
Pleasure is all ours. Deepa, you're really renowned here because see, people from various parts of the world are joining in different time zones. So you've earned a name for yourself, and that's why they have joined the meeting. And we are so glad to have you over with us.
I'm fortunate to have them visit me. I'm really happy that I have the fortune of having all of them visit me. Really grateful. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Hi, Farheen. Hi, Sarojini.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
There are still many guests here. There are still guests.
Yeah. But good to meet. You get different angles, different perspective. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Farheen, this was good for you. You know, the lights and the camera and all.
Yeah,
Zoom,
that interested me a lot. But you know, I was thinking, is that not a lot of investment in those things?
but it will be useful for. I don't know the price of it and all. But
I really don't know.
No, it's not very expensive. It's not very expensive. You have to
You
check.
know how they sell it? Is it
Yes,
available locally, or we have to order online?
Yes. No. Bagatelle, I have seen it. And maybe in Brazil, you will get it cheaper in the shops. It's just like a ring, you know? You can place it at each both
it's like a table lamp. It's the ring is on a table lamp, right?
But
yes,
also,
like
did you notice when that other Toastmaster, he changed his camera to a webcam? It was so clear. I mean, the
Yeah,
one we are
and
using is
this
not
way
that
of this way of presenting also is good. Did you write the website? But I think it's you have to pay
Prezi
for
video.
it.
Yeah, you have to pay.
We heard about Prezi.com, but we heard about Prezi.com in some other talks as well.
Okay. No,
I
for
was
me,
aware of it, but we never needed it that much, so we never used it. But we can do all that. But there is a shop. Yeah, it was nice. It was
no, because
new.
if you have to do some presentation, you can see the person, and then the video just comes to the side.
Yeah,
it looks
along
good.
with the
It's not-
person.
yeah. So you can see
Then
the
who will have
speaker
the
very-
account? Then
Yes, we
I
can
mean,
buy
if
it.
everyone
buy
has
one
to
for
use
it.
it, can use it. Everyone can use it.
Maybe
then?
we can have one for race, and everyone, when they need to do presentation, they can use it. Maybe no.
Yeah,
You,
and
have to, you can check the price and all. She said,
but she
for
said
$5
that you're $5 per month, and you have to
$5.
pay, $5 per month, and then
Per
you have
month.
to pay annually. So and now with the accounts of our Ace, we can afford. If Gianna is saying.
Don't know.
Hi. Okay. No, it was good, but I was not aware she was going. Yes, she's in a group called Impromptu Speaking, I think, and there are many people in that group. So they were maybe she posted the flyer there, so that's why many people joined. It was good.
Actually,
it was very nice.
Ace members should make advantage of this, but Ace people just.
Farin, it's like the best, best attended since the beginning. Educational session.
Educational session. Yes.
Started at 42 and then 39.
But if you count only if our members, I think there were only 6.
No, 10. 10. I counted. 10.
You counted 10?
We were 10. 10. We were 10.
I think there were more people. Some 15 told they were coming.
Yeah.
Yes,
See, for
yes,
example, I was
15,
before the session. Every evening I talked to Chris. When I called him up and told him, Chris, there's a session, he forgot. He has already planned to go out for dinner. Wow. You say in the group you're coming and then you just don't remember?
Yeah.
There are all kinds of people. My husband himself is like this. Who else do I say? Who else can we point out? But most of the time you see in our group, the women members, they make good advantage. Niluji is always there. All sessions.
When I'm looking at the list, everyone came. Raj, Amita, Sarojini, Farin, Kushi, Nina, Natalie. Only Chris, Kavita was here. Gianna, Nilu, Krishna. Only Chris was not here. Chris and Rajvansh, yes.